Jerry, they won't do anything.
Yeah, what dog?
How about the other day when Chewy said something to Joshy about get a life, and you go, I can't, I have a dog.
There is this dog in the courtyard across from my bedroom window that never, ever stops barking.
Dog.
I lost my voice just screaming at this thing.
Is there a rent-a-dog? I think that's a great idea.
We've talked about this before.
You can foster a puppy.
Nah, just rent it.
I can't sleep. I can't work. I mean, I just moved. I can't move again. What am I going to do?
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight. He ain't doing nothing but running his mouth.
This really bothered people. I saw folks weighing in on social media last night during the Marquette game. Marquette taking on UConn. It was senior night. Oso Ighodaro, Tyler Kolek, both honored. Marquette ended up losing that game. Not a big shocker, Gabe. In fact, you said there was no way they would beat UConn not having Tyler Kolek. But the thing that divided the masses was a picture that Marquette basketball put out pretty early in the evening of two gentlemen sitting next to each other at the game, sitting good seats, front row it looked like, sitting on the court. And one was very obviously and clearly head coach of your Green Bay Packers, Matt LaFleur.
Popcorn guy.
Big popcorn guy.
Had no idea.
The other person, well, I didn't know who it was. I was like, who is he sitting next to? The caption said, bringing people together. So immediately I was like, it's got to be a Bears guy, right? So I go over to ChicagoBears.com, coaches, scrolling through. I'm scrolling through.
They got a new OC.
Through,
maybe
scrolling through.
Don't recognize it.
Exactly. Maybe they work together. I'm thinking maybe they work together. These two guys work together at some point. And then I was like, wait a minute. Is that Matt Eberflus? He looked good. He did not look the way that my brain had remembered him.
Like a dork.
And it got me thinking, guys, there's been a bit of a glow up there for Matt Eberflus. And I was just talking with the guys over on 620, and Eric Bilstead said the same thing. He said when he saw clips of Eberflus from the combine, he didn't recognize him either. He said, who is that guy? A little silver in the hair, a little scruff happening on the face. There has been quite a glow up for Matt Eberflus. But besides that, people were very frustrated about the two coaches hanging out together, as though they were exchanging state secrets or something. Gabe, did you have a reaction, a strong reaction to Matt LaFleur and Matt Eberflus sitting next to each other, even for a few moments at the Marquette game last night?
I guess I wasn't bothered by it at all. Like, I guess I get why people were. I took more pleasure out of Bears fans, like Big Cat from Barstool tweeting out that he was nervous that Eberflus just sitting that close to a Packers head coach made him nervous that Eberflus was just going to start spilling those state secrets that you were talking about. Like, oh yeah, by the way, we're going to trade Justin Fields. Here's what we're going to trade him for. Like, he was just going to spill all the beans to Matt LaFleur. Matt LaFleur, I am confident in my head coach. I have no problem with my head coach. He can do that. Whatever Matt LaFleur wants to do in his off time, he can do. He's not on any sort of hot seat.
So Eberflus is just a moron by proxy? Like, because he's affiliated with the Bears and they're a buffoon franchise, like he all of a sudden is going to forget how to not share details?
I mean, he's got a fairly recent history being a buffoon in the buffoon franchise, so yeah.
My first take, bad dresser. Horrible dresser. Eberflus.
Okay, first of all, I don't think you can talk about the way anybody dresses.
You can't. Gabe, if your hair's gray, you don't wear a gray sweatshirt, gray pants, and gray sneakers. You look like a flippin' dork. Okay?
Yeah,
that's number one. Am I right, Joshy?
You can't match that much gray. Never.
I don't. Maybe.
Way too much gray.
Yeah.
I guess that didn't stand out. Let me take a look at the picture.
He's got gray shoes, gray pants, gray sweatshirt, gray face, gray hair.
Yes, way too much gray.
Too much gray.
And then I thought it was I'm like, is he the coordinator of the
his
Packers?
phone's
I had
gray,
no
too.
idea.
That's wild.
His what?
His phone.
Maybe it's his favorite color. He's like Elle Woods was with pink.
Gray's your favorite
Johnny
color.
Cash of the dull day? Yeah, that's way too much gray.
Wait, what? Johnny Cash of the dull day? What are you trying to
Well,
name
you know
a
how
band?
Johnny Cash always wore all black,
Yeah,
which
of
is
course.
fine. You can wear all black. You could wear all white. You can't wear all gray.
You got to be a certain. I don't think I could wear all white.
I believe there's a women's soccer league that has eliminated white for a particular reason.
Rainy days.
Yes.
And
Let's go with that.
No, that doesn't bother me. Did it bother you?
So it bothered people. There were people who were saying that it bothered them that the two of them were sitting next to each other. Now, to be fair, Brian D. did text you saying they're actually not sitting next to each other. They were just visiting.
So Brian D. was at the game last night, and so I didn't even initially see the tweet. He just texted me saying that Eberflus and LaFleur were like 5 seats apart, and then I happened to see somebody had reposted the tweet, so I happened to see them sitting next to each other, chatting it up pregame. But they weren't actually sitting next to each other for the actual game.
So, Josh, you said at that point, no sitting next to each other. You can exchange pleasantries without sitting there and exchanging thoughts.
Yeah, when I figured out they weren't seated next to each other, because as we all know, famous people get seated, they can pick and choose where to go. But when I figured out that it wasn't seated next to each other and they were greeting each other, what are you talking about? What is there to talk about? How's the kids? To me, it's weird. I don't really know.
Joshie, I'm sure they cross paths somewhere. And typically, if you go out for a pregame, warm-ups, the coaches are talking to one another because they never know when they're going to get fired, and they're always looking for that next job.
Okay, so it
That's
doesn't
what it's
bother
all
you.
about.
It didn't bother you.
No.
Joshie, your thing was just keep it moving, right?
Yeah, you can Nux. Hey, good to see you. Hope the kids are well.
What about a dap? Can you do the little bro hug? You just kind of come in for a little bro hug. That's too far?
The back tap to me, right when you're going for the hug, a little too much. Nux, a firm handshake will stand.
What about a head nod?
Yeah, and I know, and Chewy, maybe it's a little different for you where you guys probably didn't athletes don't really dislike each other that much anymore.
No, you're right. You're correct. Joshie.
Yeah, I think because back in your day, you probably greeted guys, you knew guys from places, or if you played someone, you were friendly, but it's not like you're buddy. It just feels weird. It's I don't think I'd react this way if it was Dan Campbell even and Matt LaFleur. When it's the Bears, to me, it's a whole different level.
Now, apparently, you put on the show sheet that Eberflus was on a tour of Marquette with his daughter. I didn't even know that was a detail there as well. Wanted to attend the game. Matt LaFleur, we have seen him at Marquette games before. We know he enjoys a good college basketball game every once in a while. Are there people, and this is what the guys were talking to me about over on 620 this morning, that you just don't want hanging out? They could be the best of friends if given the opportunity. They obviously have a lot in common. They're both head coaches in the NFL. There's only 32 of those spots. But
both names are Matt.
Exactly. Maybe they talked about that a little bit. Hey, what's up? How's that Matt working out for you? It's not so good, actually. There's another Matt in the division who's a lot better than me, and I get compared to him. But who are people that you just don't want hanging out? First thing that comes to mind for me is your ex-girlfriend and your current girlfriend, or your ex-boyfriend and your current boyfriend. Let's keep those skeletons in that closet, right? The more time they spend together, the more likelihood that the old guy is going to spill something that might infect or, the new guy.
What if you end up dating your ex-girlfriend's roommate?
Your ex?
Is this a hypothetical or?
Sure, let's call it a hypothetical.
Well,
may have been a thing that happened once upon a time. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You dated a girl. Wait, hold on. Uh-huh. Wait a minute.
Hey, you dirty dog.
Okay.
Let's take it one step deeper, though, Gabe. Let's take it one step deeper. What if you dated your ex-girlfriend's sister?
No.
Yeah, that's no.
I don't know if you have the moral high ground. Hypothetically speaking, to weigh in on this.
This isn't.
I'm not sure I trust your moral compass right now. So it was a roommate and it was not working out, but you were hanging out. Hypothetically speaking, give me the lowdown on this.
So, it was my high school girlfriend. We dated a little bit into college. And we stayed friendly. We stayed pretty friendly because I would have to. She went to school at UW. And I would go up to Madison kind of frequently from Platteville, just because every once in a while you need, something more than just Platteville. And then eventually my senior year, that was the only place we could go. Our catcher got in a fight downtown, and the entire team was banned from going downtown. It's a different story.
It's another great story we haven't heard. Put a pin in that.
Hold on. Where the hell do you go when you're at Platteville and you can't go to the city of Platteville?
Madison.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, you jump in a car and you go to Madison. Go hang out with your friends who are going to UW. So when I would go to Madison, I would either stay with my buddy who's in a frat, or I would stay with her because we were still really friendly. And one thing leads to another. You start talking with a roommate, and next thing you know, you're dating the roommate.
How was your ex about this?
I think she was weirded out at first.
Yeah.
How long did they remain roommates?
Oh, they were roommates for another year or so. After that,
just so you know, Gabe, nobody else is getting away with that bullcrap.
Yeah.
Nobody else.
Only Gabe.
Exactly.
How do you remain friendly with an ex? You're a rare breed.
I don't know.
You're too nice. That's the problem.
Is there anybody else you don't want hanging out? Like, I don't know that you want, some people might not want their boss hanging out with their significant other. It's church and state a little bit. You don't want to mix, across the streams. Is there anybody else who, again, they could get along great. It could be wonderful, but there's just an uneasiness initially about is the boss going to say, Tony doesn't show up to work on Fridays? And you're like, because you're on the golf course or something. I don't know. I'm just throwing it out there as what are some other duos that just on principle alone, you go, I would rather not.
The thing I came up with initially right away was we don't have to actually worry about it, but if Giannis started hanging out with James Harden and they became buddy-buddy, I would be very concerned about Giannis' future as a Milwaukee Buck. I'm trying to keep it in the sports world. I have friend groups that I don't want to hang out with each other, mostly because when they come together, it becomes a particular disaster, and I don't want to deal with.
Let me ask this question then. Are people uncomfortable when Jordan Love talks about when he texts Aaron Rodgers?
No,
I don't think so. It seems like there's a genuine friendship there, and if you spent that much time together, I understand you still maintaining some sort of relationship. There's people who used to work here that no longer work here that we still talk to. Now they left on good terms. They weren't necessarily fired.
But if we found out, the text is fine, right? But if we found out that Jordan Love was going out to Cali to hang out with Aaron for a week,
I think short of an ayahuasca.
I was about to say, are we getting scared that the ayahuasca and the darkness retreats are going to be shortly following?
Well, this is the proverbial fist bump versus sitting and chatting for 10 minutes before the game, right? You can give the proverbial fist bump or the proverbial head nod, but we don't want you sitting there for any longer, that's what Joshua was saying initially.
I'm sure Aaron's got some ayahuasca literature handy that he can just start handing out.
Does this extend to players, though? I mean, would people have the same frustration? Again, we were seeing it all over social media last night about what are they even talking about? Why are they hanging out? If Jordan Love started hanging out with Justin Fields or Jared Goff or whoever is going to be the next quarterback of the Minnesota Vikings.
Antonio Brown would be a problem. But other than that, I don't think so. I mean, if Jordan started hanging out with Antonio Brown, he'd be like, that's probably not a good idea, bro.
Okay, is there a part of you that thinks that he shouldn't hang out with losers?
Define loser.
This is what I'm trying to get to. Is there a part of you as Matt LaFleur's fan base that is like, well, that guy's not good enough to hang out. That guy, he's not very good at his job.
If he was above 500, it'd be okay.
100%, yes. You have
he's 10 and 24.
That's what I'm trying to say.
This
you
guy's
have
a loser.
Certain standards for who you want your head coach hanging out with.
This guy's on the hot seat. I don't want him to have his hot seat.
I don't think so.
Starts to heat up.
Put it this, it's a very easy one, and we've all kind of put it away because it's not necessarily nice thing to think about. But Jordan Love's been training with Deshaun Watson before. I'd prefer he didn't do that.
Oh, I didn't realize those two worked out.
Yeah, I believe it's either a QB coach or something along the lines, but they have more than a few pictures together.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
Look, I hang out with the Blammer, and people think that is extremely weird. Now, Gabe and Josh, you met him. Is he entertaining or what?
Oh, no. Yeah. Once you meet the Blammer, it's very obvious
people don't
why
understand
you hang out with the Blammer.
Chewy, I have a handful of friends that are just Blammers. Not quite. Blammers 10 out of 10. But I have people who simply just entertain me. They're not they're not necessarily the best of friends. They're not necessarily very reliable or the type of person you want to bring around mom, but you get together with them and they're a blast.
But you also don't like Angie hanging out with the Blammer, right?
Angie's not a fan.
Well, Chewy, I don't think would mind if Angie hang out with the Blammer because then he would catch less flack when the Blammer came over.
Yeah. No, she's and I understand why, but I don't care. I just want to be around people that entertain me. Are you guys like that?
Yes, very
well,
much.
Yeah, that's again. I think that's why you hang out with the friends you hang out because you guys keep everybody entertained.
You guys are just rolling around with laugh tracks over here.
That's not how you do
Are you
your
funny?
friends?
No, get out of here. Are you funny? No, scram. What are you doing? Just so you guys know, I'm checking out the ESPN Milwaukee talking text line here, sitting in front of me. Lots of reaction to Gabe's story in Platteville, okay? Of all the things that we've touched on, that struck a nerve, Gabe.
Yeah?
I'm telling you, yeah. Well, and there's a lot of people on there who are, Gabe, you dated both girls in Platteville? ? That from Ryan and McGuanago.
No, to be clarified, they both lived in Madison.
Oh.
Like, would you guys go watch a movie and all sit in the same room?
There were times where, like, in the living room, the three of us would be, sitting there watching a movie, yeah.
So messed up, dude. So messed up.
All right, this could get spicy.
Answer the question before he asks the question. Would you answer the question before he asks the question?
No, it was not spicy,
Thank
Chew.
you. Appreciate that.
Damn it.
Doesn't mean you can't imagine it, Chew.
Yeah.
Everybody keep it in the pants.
We've got,
Well, they do make a wine called Menage a Trois.
we've got Jason Wilde coming up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We'll talk about the Green Bay Packers. Lots of information out there. How do you think the Packers will use that first-round pick? We'll ask Jason his thoughts on that. You guys remember hearing me talk about being at the State Fair last summer and seeing a sauna display. We've all had those moments walking through an expo center and thinking, ooh, I'm interested in that. Let me go check it out. Well, let me tell you, having an infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas is wonderful. It feels great for after my workouts. I can feel the extra energy and flexibility that I've gained from using my sauna. Plus, my skin looks better. And with the amount that I travel during football season, the detoxification benefits alone are worth it. And guys, did a hard workout the other day. My legs were on fire. I thought, well, what the hell? Let's give it a shot. Hopped in the sauna for 30 minutes. I could feel the soreness leaving my body. I sleep better and I feel better thanks to Good Health Saunas. If you're in the market for all of those things, health and wellness and longevity, check out my friends over at goodhealthsauna.com. Goodhealthsauna.com. Tell them Jen from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy sent you. Jason Wilde coming up next.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Looks like we've got some delays kicking in on 94 eastbound right around 68th Street. Not too bad. It's just something to keep in mind. We do have also a broken down vehicle on 4394 southbound right about at Beecher off on the right shoulder. There's a car up against the wall there, so just be extra careful. The rest of the system is still looking pretty nice. Traffic is brought to you by Fisco Auto Body. Call Fisco Auto Body to help with all body repair needs. Fisco, Fisco, Fisco. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, more clouds, but dry. A high of 44 at the lake, 48 inland. Tonight, cloudy, isolated showers later on with a low of 38. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazagon, 94.5 ESPN.
The moment you've been waiting for is here. Eagle Sports Range is officially open for action. It's Wisconsin's largest indoor range, offering unlimited range time in 40 lanes, which include 20 20-yard lanes and 20 50-yard lanes, and no reservations needed. Just show up and let the fun begin. With a staggering selection of 100 firearm rentals to use, every visit is a new adventure. Eagle Sports Range is also a go-to for education. Take advantage of their concealed carry classes and gun safety courses. Safety first, excitement second. Visit them out in Cudahy or online at eaglesportsrange.com. Eagle Sports Range, where education meets exhilaration.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
Are you over 30 and putting off life insurance? It's time to get a quick quote from Ethos, a better, easier way to get term life insurance, all online with no medical exam. Answer a few health questions and you could be approved for up to $2 million. Isn't it worth 10 minutes to help protect your family's financial security? Ethos, up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate. Restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Subscription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, did you know there's a generic form of Viagra that works just the same, but is 95% cheaper? And you can get it online? Just go to hims.com/joy. Through Hims, you'll get a free medical consultation, discreet shipping if prescribed, a 100% online process, and trusted generic alternatives to the name brands at up to 95% off. That's right. Get generic for Viagra, the same active ingredient as brand name Viagra, but for 95% less. It's the same medication, still prescribed by a licensed medical provider, but with zero copay, no expensive appointments, and no awkward face-to-face conversations. To start your free online visit, you need to go to this exclusive address, hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
Ready, down, put. All Packers, all the time.
He has come light years in the last 2 months, and people should be over the moon excited about that.
Okay, most of the time.
Almonds specifically or all nuts?
Well, these nuts, those nuts, whatever nuts work.
It's Jason Wilde on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Brought to you by Boucher Automotive. With 16 different new car brands and over 35 pre-owned brands to choose from. Boucher Automotive. We are driven by you.
Since the moment we got off the air till now, I've sneezed like 6 times. We're going to do our best.
How many more before you're like concerned?
So Dario will say, I got 20 in me. There have been times where I'll just crank out 20 sneezes. Click, 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 click. So he stopped saying, God bless you, after 2. And he's like, now you're on your own.
You need more nose hairs.
Is that what you think?
Yeah, that's a filter for your lungs.
Well, it's interesting. Yesterday we were at lunch and my 4-year-old said to me, Mommy, you have hair in your nose. And I was like, well, time to take care of that. Get the old razor. Good morning, Jason. Look how I've made it through. No sneezing. How you doing today?
You are so good looking.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Good Seinfeld reference. So we were wondering, there's been a lot of chatter about this first pick that the Packers have, the first round pick. What do you think they're going to do with the first round pick? I saw a lot of chatter yesterday about the offensive line and how there's a chance that they could be without a number of positions on the offensive line, and they need to make sure that they stabilize that. Where do you think the Packers will go with their first round pick?
I was really, speaking of Seinfeld references, I thought we were going to talk about the roommate switch. But, okay.
Got it!
Do you ever get down on your knees and thank God that you know me and have access to my dementia? Yeah, I think they could go offensive line. I think they'll probably go defense. I mean, not only is, I don't think there's a safety worthy of the 25th pick. Based on what I've read so far, but a sneaky need for them, frankly, is outside linebacker. I know defensive end now. I know they've got Rashawn Gary, and they signed him to a big extension. I know they just drafted Lucas Van Ness last year. But Preston Smith took a pay cut to stay. But I don't think he'll be playing another season in Green Bay. Maybe he will in 2025. They love Kingsley JJ the jet plane Enikbare, but he tore his ACL late in the year. He's probably, even if he has a unexpectedly strong and fast comeback, not going to be ready till midseason. And so I think that's still a need. I think, when you look at their cornerback situation, I mean, do you believe in Eric Stokes at this point? And his ability to stay healthy and his ability to be a good player, right?
Can't.
I don't. So I think there's a good chance that they're long and storied and mediocre history of drafting defensive players in the first round will continue. But, I like Rasheed Walker. He's an interesting dude. I don't know if he's good enough to be a franchise left tackle. They say nice things about him, but if you listen to Bulaga, who has forgotten more about offensive line play than I'll ever know, he's pretty inconsistent, and he has some good moments, but as Chewy well knows, offensive linemen, if they play 65 snaps and 60 of them are good and 5 of them are really bad, then they're really bad offensive linemen. And so I don't think they're set there by any stretch. I do get the sense that they would like to leave Zach Tom at right tackle and just let him be a stud right tackle for the rest of his career. Josh Myers is going into the last year of his contract. We know that they appear to be anyway moving on from John Runyon. So it's basically Elton Jenkins, and everything else is a little bit up in the air other than Zach Tom. So I wouldn't be surprised if they went tackle either. I just think that they're at a point where, other than wide receiver, where they did such a good job of restocking the shelves, and I guess tight end, where not only do they have their 2 draft picks from last year, but they really do like Ben Sims. I'm not sure that there's a position where I would say, well, they're not going to go there at 25.
Jason, I wanted to ask you this the other day when we were having the Aaron Jones conversation, but ran out of time. And he can be a hypothetical in this situation. But we talk about cylinders. Goody's a cylinder, LaFleur's a cylinder, and Russ Ball is kind of the forgotten cylinder. And when it comes to Goody and LaFleur, I perceive it as, all right, you stay in your lane, I'll stay in my lane. So let's say that Goody wants to go to Russ Ball and says, look, I want to pay Aaron Jones $14 million a year. Russ Ball's a cylinder. Can Russ Ball say, nope, this is my cylinder, you're in my territory, I am not going to pay him $14 million a year?
I don't think so. So all 3 of those guys, and again, I'm not going to rail against the structure once again because that is fruitless. But, they love to talk about how collaborative they are. First of all, I think you're 1,000,000% right when it comes to stay in your lane in terms of coaching versus personnel. I would love to get LaFleur to actually acknowledge in some way, whether it's on the record so I can quote him or off the record so I can flat out write it, but that one of the reasons why he doesn't bother to go to the combine is because the personnel staff doesn't really care what he thinks anyway. But he has never said that to me. That is my perception, like you, but I don't know that for a fact. But they do. I think when it comes to contractual stuff, I think that's the one place where Mark Murphy really kind of gets involved in terms of, if they have a disagreement, then the 3 of them, Ball, Goody, and Mark, kind of get together and hash it out. So, but no, I don't think, my understanding of how it operates is Russ Ball would be deciding, say, all right, that's fine, you want to keep him, but you should rely on me to figure out the most cost-effective way to do so. And he does the negotiating. It's not Goody sitting down with Drew Rosenhaus. So he's got plenty of autonomy there, but I don't think he has the ability to say, Goody wants a guy, no, we're not doing that, right? So I think that there's probably a process involved with, look, man, all right, I understand you want him. I will do everything to make that happen. We need to figure out exactly where our line of demarcation is we just can't go that high. But again, I don't think Russ Ball has veto power to say, okay, you want to pay this guy and keep him? No, we're not doing that because from a cap standpoint, you're an idiot. I don't think he's got that power.
Jason, as we get closer to the start of the new league year next Wednesday, and we have DeAndre Campbell has a roster bonus due in 8 days. And it seems like the talk about him has almost died down in terms of, they'll just release him and get the $2.5 million or whatever it is in salary cap savings. Does it seem like to you that DeAndre Campbell could be a Green Bay Packer in 2024?
I mean, he certainly could. I don't think that's what's happened, right? I mean, we tend to be, and I am as guilty of this as anybody because I'm on all of our shows and everyone has questions that I try to answer to the best of my ability. But maybe we just haven't talked about DeAndre Campbell because he's not as interesting. And so the talk has died down because we haven't spent any time talking about him. I was actually, not that I wake up thinking about DeAndre Campbell. I woke up from a nightmare this morning, and I was running through the streets of Milwaukee. I was being chased by bad guys. I think it's because I read Mary Spacuzza's long piece about her cousin who was murdered by the mob in Milwaukee in 1978, which is unbelievable, by the way. And so I think that I'm trying to trace back why I had this nightmare, but I woke up and I told Paula about it, and she looked at me like I was like 6, and I was just telling my mom, "Yeah, I got chased by the bad guys." But I did not wake up thinking about DeAndre Campbell. But subsequently, after I got done recovering from my nightmare, I was thinking about DeAndre Campbell. And you're right, we haven't talked about him.
But also, Jason, because what I think is interesting about it is if they release him, that opens up another hole that they have to find because they need more linebackers by switching to the 4-3. Because even though they only play base 25% of the time, that's still a significant amount of snaps that you want 3 linebackers on the field. And presumably they'd only have 2 that they kind of sort of trust if they release Campbell.
Yeah, you're right. There's no question about that because they kind of sort of trust Quay Walker, and they kind of sort of the coaches really like Isaiah McDuffie. Like I think that they are very, very, very interested in getting him into the starting lineup. And so I don't know if that would be Campbell, McDuffie, and Quay Walker. I don't know what that would look like, right? And again, you're right. Last year they played 26.7% of their snaps in base. So if you think Hafley's going to do roughly the same thing, even with the switch from the 3-4 to the 4-3, that's not a whole lot. But you got to have at least 2, right? I mean, you got to have 2 that can stay on the field in passing situations. So, and look, I am not. I've said this before. I am not a DeAndre Campbell fan. I don't like how he deals with us in the media. I thought the social media thing about I'm not playing hurt anymore was a horrendous look. I couldn't believe he did it, and I would love to know, what happened behind closed doors on that, because I just thought that was not good. And the cap savings is not colossal if you move on from him. Although obviously you could do a post June 1 designation, and then it would be a little bit more this year, and it would push some into next year. But yeah, I mean, maybe they're working on a restructured contract. I mean, I'm sure Russ Ball talked to his agent while they were in Indianapolis, but maybe they just haven't, maybe the ball's in Devondre's court about whether or not he wants to restructure or if he wants to go out on his own. Because remember, this is a guy who, was having a tough time finding a home. And then obviously he had that terrific 2021 season, and he got the 5-year, $50 million contract from the Packers for it. And now the last 2 years obviously have not been star-spangled awesome. Does he want to go back to being a journeyman guy, or is he willing to do kind of what Preston Smith did and take a little bit less, get it incentivized, and then stick around and maybe turn things around after 2 years that haven't been very good and have had some injury issues? I don't know that. I would say this, and again, this is just my opinion. I don't think the Packers are like in a huge hurry to get rid of him. Like, I know that I didn't like the social media thing about not playing hurt, but LaFleur was actually with him in Atlanta, and LaFleur seems to really like him. And so if they think that he can play well in Hafley's system, I don't think it's a slam dunk. And one of the other pet peeves I have about this time of year is that suddenly every fan becomes obsessed with creating salary cap space. And they don't need to release him to function from a salary cap perspective. The question is, do you want him on the team or not? And I'd be curious to see what kind of conversations. And again, it'd be really nice if we talked to Jeff Hafley more than once. Like right now, it'd be great if he was available again to talk about, all right, where do you kind of at on what you've seen from the guy you've been grinding all this tape. What do you see from the guys you've inherited? And again, I don't know what they think of DeAndre Campbell, but I think with his ability to drop into coverage, and the fact that he's a decent tackler when he's healthy, I wouldn't be surprised if they still wanted him on the roster.
Last thing for you, Jason, before we let you go. There's a snippet of a podcast circulating on social media. It is Aaron Rodgers talking ball. It is fan-frickin-tastic. It is what a lot of people enjoy hearing from the former quarterback of the Green Bay Packers. But at one point he references the Bears, and he said, "We always beat the Bears." And it perked up a lot of eyes and eyebrows because people were like, oh, Rodgers still considers himself a part of the Packers. Is it fair to read into it that way when he says, "We always beat the Bears," that Rodgers still considers himself a Packer?
No, I think he's talking in the past tense about how we always beat the Bears, parentheses, when I was there. Look, I do think that, I understand how things ended. I understand what he's become. I watched a clip. I don't know if it was the same one or a different one. But, I mean, look, Paula and I talk about this. The girls and I talk about this. Yesterday on the show, Jesse had a clip from him on the rundown about him wanting to play 2, 3, 4 more years. And I kind of vetoed doing a segment on him because I feel like people don't want to hear about him anymore. And for me, who obviously did the show with him for 4 years, I just, as I tell these guys all the time, I just miss that guy. And I watched that clip where he's breaking down the downfield throw to Jordy.
Yep, that's it.
Talking about the fish route. Yeah. I didn't get to the end of it because Joshy called as I was watching it. But
my bad.
Yeah, not your bad at all. No, it's my job to be on the radio. But I really miss that guy. And it was like, I think somebody on Twitter sent it to me saying somewhere down deep inside, there's still the Aaron we all love. And I do, man. I miss that guy. I traded with a couple of messages with him when the announcement came out about that biography, which he called unsolicited in our exchange. But I miss him dearly. And, I'm not going to get too far into this because, again, I'm going to talk to Jen's therapist about all my feelings. But I really do. I would love to see more of that and less of the other stuff. And I would love for our debate back in Wisconsin about him to be more about, does he still see himself as a Packer than some of the other stuff that we've talked about.
Jason, we appreciate you hanging out with us this morning. Have a great one. And you will notice, made through the whole segment without a single sneeze. So I just willed that into existence, by the way. That was a manifestation, is what that was.
You're a grinder.
Yeah. Thank you for your service. Jason, have a great one. We'll talk to you again soon.
True. All right, bye.
He's Jason Wilde. You can, of course, hear him right after Jen, Gabe, and Chewy each and every weekday on Wilde and Tausch, 9 to noon here on ESPN Milwaukee.
Weather is turning. That means it's time to head to Bunzel's Meat Market, 90th and Burleigh in Milwaukee, to get some great things to throw on the grill. Make plans to visit Bunzel's this week. Pick up some of the great specials that they have. The Irish Banger or Reuben Bratwurst, just $6.99 a pound. Whole trimmed pork tenderloin, $6.99 a pound. Boneless center cut pork roast, $4.99 a pound. Meaty country style pork ribs, $3.99 a pound. Those are some of my favorites to throw on the grill. Stop in for the specials, and while you're there, grab a lunch from the deli counter at Bunzel's, 90th and Burleigh. You will not regret it. Just check out their website, bunzels.com, for specials, store hours, and more.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
Looking pretty good across the area. Starting to tap on the brakes, though, on eastbound 94 between 92nd Street and 68th. Southbound 43, nice and quiet all the way down from Brown Deer Road to the Marquette. Northbound 4394, quick tap of the brakes right around Oklahoma Avenue. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, more clouds, but dry. A high of 44 at the lakefront, 48 inland. Tonight, cloudy, isolated showers later on, a low of 38. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga, 94.5 ESPN.
You've heard about the thousands of patients finally getting relief from chronic joint pain thanks to QC Kinetics non-invasive treatments. And here's one who was determined to avoid surgery. Meet Vicky.
The orthopedic surgeon said, well, you're going to need knee replacement sooner rather than later. I kept hearing commercials about QC Kinetics and thought, well, I'm going to check them out first.
QC Kinetics has treated over 20,000 patients like Vicky around the country. People who were told they needed surgery but chose a more natural, less invasive approach that uses regenerative treatments to help heal and restore painful joints with no downtime.
If QC Kinetics had not been what I expected, I would have gone through with the surgery, but I got so much relief, am now pretty much pain-free that I don't have to have the surgery.
Before going under the knife, you need to check out QC Kinetics. The consultation is free. Call today.
Call QC Kinetics, 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Here in Wisconsin, one name is synonymous with fantastic frozen pizza, Palermo's. For almost 60 years, Palermo's has focused on feeding Wisconsin families. And though Palermo's has grown a lot since 1964, they're still family-owned. They're still proud to call Milwaukee home. And they're still committed to making the best frozen pizza possible. From their new and improved rising crust pizzas to their guilt-free Primo thin pies, Palermo's has a delicious slice for every appetite. Find Palermo's in your local grocer's freezer food aisle. Palermo's. Flavor is our family's business.
Q Club of Wisconsin is the hangout spot for watching sports, playing games, and having some drinks. Mike, what do you have going on over there?
We have so much going on. We're the place to be for basketball season, with TVs everywhere. Book a party in our VIP room, which includes a private pool table, 2 shuffleboard tables, and 4 dartboards. Sign up for summer bocce leagues now before they fill up. And of course, we've got our fish fry on Wednesdays and Fridays, where you know we pile it high.
All happening at the Q Club of Wisconsin, North Grandview Boulevard in Waukesha. Check out QClubofWisconsin.com.
This is ESPN Wisconsin's Brad Nortman, here to tell you about my favorite go-to drink. That's Carbless. Carbless is a ready-to-drink, handcrafted vodka and tequila cocktail. Even better, it's 0 carbs, 0 sugar, 0 gluten, and just 100 calories. And listen to this, less carbonation. This leads to less bloat. I can indulge in something delicious without having that health guilt. Carbless is crafted right here in Wisconsin. It has a flavor for everyone, from black raspberry to cranberry, pineapple and lemon, and my favorite, margarita. Find Carbless online and at a retailer near you. Less is more.
The Bucks Bar Network, presented by Michelob Ultra and Bally Sports Wisconsin, boasts the best spots to cheer on the Deer when you're not at Pfizer Forum. With official Bucks Bar Network locations throughout the entire state, you can catch every single game. Pair the edge of your seat action, freakish plays, and championship caliber Bucks basketball with a Michelob Ultra. Visit bucks.com/bars to find the Bucks Bar Network location near you.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
I thought
Salvation
every time
Army.
that they hear their name when it's non-scheduled, that's what they want to hear.
I could hear Ashley laughing in the background.
Am I right or wrong?
He's not wrong. Hey, he's not wrong. He's not wrong.
He is wrong.
On 94.5 ESPN.
A weekly pulse on the Milwaukee Bucks, straight from a fan favorite and Bucks legend. Tune into Here District with Marcus Johnson, a Bucks Plus audio production. Marcus and his son Chris, a 1995 UCLA hoops champ himself, talk about everything happening in the Bucks world and are joined by some of the biggest names in basketball. Plus, they'll answer your questions too. Stay on the beat of the Bucks and find Here District now on bucks.com/plus, the Bucks app, or wherever you get your podcasts.
Back here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, if you missed any of our conversation with Jason Will, you can find that on Wisconsin On Demand. We were asking him what he thinks the Packers will do with their first-round pick, number 25. And there was a lot of chatter yesterday on social media about offensive line and how this might be a unit in flux. While it might be a very similar rotation as it was the past year, there may be more than just one. Everybody thinks about David Bakhtiari, and the team will likely move on from him and be able to spend a little more with the money that they're recouping from that move. But there could be other spots as well. So do you think, Gabe, they are going to take an offensive lineman with that number 25 pick, with their first pick in the 2024 NFL Draft?
I do not think so. I guess I'm comfortable with, and this just goes back to maybe listening to the big guy talk about how Ron Wolf built their team. I mean, they didn't really have stud offensive linemen. I mean, everybody loves Frank Winters, and he went through a Pro Bowl or two. But, their left tackles, like Bruce Wilkerson, had to step in. They had these different kind of moving parts along that offensive line, and they had good depth there, certainly. So I think that's what, to me, the Packers need more than anything. Like, that offensive line was not an issue last year. Maybe you had to give more help to Rasheed Walker than you'd like, but to me, he held up pretty well. So maybe you just want some depth pieces. You've got a bigger need at safety, bigger need at corner. You've got bigger needs elsewhere, to me, than that offensive line.
Yeah, I mean, you need, obviously we talk about safety. You need starters there. You need a starter at linebacker, depending on what they do with Devondre. I agree with Gabe that you need depth, and you don't need – Ron's philosophy was – because if you look at, in my day, across the board, there wasn't really a lineman that made buku dollars. Now, when Marco came up and Mike Wall came up, the two very good guards, Pro Bowl players, he didn't pay them. Mm-hmm. He let them go. So that's kind of his philosophy. They have a depth – how I look at this is like, okay – take all the positions. Oh, I'm cramping in my hamstring. I don't know why.
It's not really helping your athlete argument from earlier in the week.
Gosh, what the hell?
You're falling apart.
So I look at it like this. What position would be the most debilitating if they had a season-ending injury? Take away the quarterback position.
Corner,
running back. They're okay at tight end. They're okay at receiver. I'm not sold on the D-line. So you have to protect yourself against something catastrophic happening. Kind of like Lucas Van Ness last year. Could he have played if something happened to
Preston Smith,
Rashawn Gary, or Preston Smith? Absolutely. So, but there is a part of me that think Goody, and it really shouldn't be looked at this way, but it kind of is going to go with the Blah pick. Like Blah. Like O-lineman would be Blah, right?
Mm-hmm.
It'd be nice, but there's not a lot of fanfare. D-line would be Blah.
Would you pick a D lineman over an offensive lineman with the first pick?
I think we're underselling, and I'd love to sit down with a whiteboard and just spell this out for you guys. I think we're underselling.
Sort of condescending, but it's fine. Keep going.
No. But
I don't know if spelling's your strong suit either, pal.
But
I would love to. I think people discount the difference between a 4-3 and a 3-4. Okay, you can't go, and the reason I'll get stupid here on you. The reason that they played so much nickel last year, because it's not because they wanted to play nickel. It's because other teams' favorite personnel group is zebra. It's 3 receivers, 1 tight end, 1 back. It is hands down across the board every team's, I believe, most favorite personnel group. It changes in a 4-3 to a 3-4 because when you bring in nickel as the extra linebacker, right, that other receiver, he's still considered 6 in the box. That other receiver against a 4-3 is not responsible for that nickel guy. It's an O-lineman, which is a huge mismatch. It's different than in a 3-4 because you have 5 guys on the line. Now you only have 4. And if you're going to plug in a little guy, what typically should be a linebacker, I'm telling you, it spells trouble in the run game. That's why your front 4 have to be stout as hell, and I am not sold on Devontae Wyatt being one of those players.
So defensive line over offensive line, that's your take, right?
Yes.
Okay, just want to make sure I'm summarizing all of that stuff you just said. You would rather that they go with a defensive lineman with the 25th pick than an offensive lineman.
I think right now, Jen, defense is more of a liability defensive line than the offensive line.
Are you concerned at all about who they're losing on the offensive line? The point that keeps being made before you get to it, Chew, is that Goody is so good at finding third round, 4th round, 5th round offensive linemen, that the disparity between the guys that you get in the 1st or 2nd round and then those later rounds is minuscule. And I think that's fair, given the track record that Goody has, given the track record that the offensive line had. Look, there was a point last year where the Packers offensive line was rated near the top of all offensive line units.
Yeah.
And they sucked at the beginning of the year, though. Let's remember that.
Oh, yeah.
They were a train wreck. And then something happened. I don't know if they took to the coaching or it took them a handful of games to develop. But, yes, they did get better. But the problem is you're rolling the dice when you take a 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th round O-lineman, whether he can play right away.
But I don't think you need anyone to play right away. I mean,
you're going to need who's going to take Runyon's spot?
Sean Ryan. I mean, Sean Ryan was rotating at that right guard spot throughout the course of the year. So if you lose Runyon, Ryan slides in. Now, that certainly hurts your depth, which is why I think that right now all you need are those depth pieces. You know, you take a tackle in the 4th round, you take a guard in the 6th, and you hope the other guys that you have can continue to backfill.
But you know,
and
Jason said it, the injuries last year were not that bad. Now, there were a lot of nagging stuff, but there weren't a lot of ACLs. There weren't a lot of season-ending injuries on this team, and that changes from year to year. One year you're good, one year you're bad.
Well, Chew, go ahead.
Who's going to play? If Rasheed Walker goes down for the entire year, who's playing left tackle?
I guess they kicked Zach Tom over there.
What is your prediction
right tackle?
on Yosh Nijman, guys?
He's not coming back.
I think you got to bring him back.
Yeah, I don't think he's coming back. No.
Seems like Luke Buckus got in trouble for saying how much they didn't like him last year. Because he kind of just went in front of the media and was like, yeah, he didn't work hard. So he's not playing.
To me, he has fallen out of favor. And I think that if they wanted him around, they would have kind of done what Chewy suggested earlier in the year and dangle a little bit more guaranteed money towards him, 3-year, $15 million deal, 10 of a guarantee, something like that, where they could have enticed him with some more cash. They didn't. I think they're over him.
I thought it was Stenovich who made the comments about Yosh late in the season, saying something about he's got a long way to go.
Though? Didn't he say someone was the center?
Stenovich said the center was great?
Yeah.
Yeah, remember he's playing his best football everywhere, and we're like...
Josh Myers.
Mm-hmm.
Really? Okay.
And didn't we comp that weren't we comparing it with like Pro Football Focus? Again, I know not the end all be all, but where he was like one of the worst.
Yeah.
There was something like very egregious about him saying he was playing his best football and then some stat pack saying he was one of the worst of the weekend. We got to take a break here on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, but I want to put that on the poll. If you had to choose between defensive line and offensive line for that 25th pick, the Packers' first-round pick this year, which direction are you going? I think it's going to be overwhelmingly defense. I think people realize that Goody has had a lot of success in the late rounds when it comes to offensive line, and they think that he can hit on that again. But let us know. We're putting it up on the Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter poll. At Great Midwest Bank, the loan officers get you because they're just like you. They offer personalized service tailored to your unique situation, ensuring that you will get the best possible mortgage. With their local knowledge and expertise, the loan officers make the mortgage process smooth and stress-free. Woo! Is there anything better than a process that is intimidating and you don't really want to go through it being smooth and stress-free? Bank better with a Great Midwest Bank loan officer today. Go to their website. It's greatmidwestbank.com, greatmidwestbank.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
The Jen, Gabe, and Chewy podcast is sponsored by Celsius Energy Drink, and I am here to tell you it makes a huge difference in my mornings. With a unique blend of essential energy and key vitamins, Celsius is your partner to an active lifestyle. My favorite, the Peach Vibe. Learn more at Celsius.com and pick up Celsius Energy Drinks today.
What is dedication?
People ask, how your children learn how to ride a bike and you didn't? I just created an environment where they taught themselves and all I had to do was be there.
That's dedication. Visit fatherhood.gov to hear more. Brought to you by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services and the Ad Council.
Nelnet Incorporated has document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Facilities Coordinator Sunday Heidemann, local and partner ring true for you. Why?
They become your friend. They are easy to work with. You get to know them on a personal level, and they're very outgoing.
James Imaging Systems, helping local businesses do business better.
Being a partner, we can collaborate with each other, and we can make the best needs and outcome for our company.
James Imaging Systems, better technology, great people.
Makes my job so much easier that I can contact the people that know the machines, and I know I'm going to be taken care of.
Sunday, anything to say about James Imaging Systems to others?
They're a great team to work with.
document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems. Call 262-781-7700. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank, and as a community bank, we sincerely appreciate our customer loyalty. Over nearly 90 years, we've done all we can to return the favor. Great Midwest Bank offers flexible solutions that bigger banks and credit unions simply can't, because our entire team is right here in the community. We love helping our neighbors when we're at work and then catching up over the weekend. Visit us at greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
Texting privacy policy and terms and conditions posted at textplan.us. Texting enrolls for recurring automated text marketing messages. Message and data rates may apply. Reply stop, opt out.
Guys, let's get real about your hair loss. How long have you been wearing a hat? Hiding thinning hair or a rapidly growing bald spot? Just stop it. You're not a 12-year-old little leaguer. You're a grown man. It's time to take action. Let the hat go and get your real hair back permanently with Bosley. You heard that right. Bosley, America's #1 hair restoration experts, can give you your real hair back permanently. And right now, Bosley is giving away an absolutely free information kit and a free gift card to everyone that texts MORE to 200-300. Plus, text right now and get a link to this month's incredible deals. Join the millions of people who come to Bosley and see just how awesome your hair could look. Text MORE to 200-300 for your absolutely free information kit and a free $250 gift card off, plus a special link to incredible deals. Text MORE to 200-300 now. Text MORE to 200-300.
Life insurance. Why are you putting it off? Can't afford it? Too much hassle? Think you don't need it? There's lots of excuses for putting off life insurance. But if you weren't there, who would pay the mortgage and other bills? With Ethos, you could be covered in 10 minutes and boom, family protected. Ethos, fast and easy online term life insurance. Up to $2 million in coverage with no medical exam. Some policies as low as $1 a day. Answer a few health questions and get your free quote at checkethos.com. That's checkethos.com.
eBay Motors is here for the ride. 120,000 miles of night drives, daily commutes, and who knows how many.
Are we there yet?
Through countless fixes, elbow grease, and a new radiator, you kept your ride alive. With eBay Motors, you have over 122 million parts to keep it running. And with eBay Guaranteed Fit, they'll be the perfect fit every time. Plus, at these prices, well, we're burning rubber, not cash. Keep your ride or die alive at ebaymotors.com. Eligible items only. Exclusions apply.
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
What was a rebound? What did you just say?
Robust. You could say robust. Doesn't robust sound like a nice word of saying just a click below fat?
No, buddy, you're not fat.
Well,
you're
there's
rebound.
Well, Charles Barkley.
There's another R.
Round mound of rebound.
On 94.5 ESPN.
She's a fire sign, and I don't really know what that means. I'm a cold night.
Best place to shop diamond engagement rings in Milwaukee. Of course, it's only at the Jewelry Center. Dean, the Dancing Machine, has put together a great team of specialists that will help you bring her dream ring to life. They did for me. A couple years ago when I decided that it was time to get engaged, I knew exactly where to go. I knew to go to the Jewelry Center. Now, I kind of had an idea of the ring I was looking for, but the Jewelry Center showed me a couple of different options, and I landed on what is now my wife's dream ring. Maybe you don't have an idea. Well, go to our Pinterest board, bring in some of those ideas. The team at the Jewelry Center always going to be able to help you and point you in that right direction. Learn more about the diamond jewelry selection at shoptjc.com or stop in to any one of the 3 locations for the Jewelry Center in Greenfield, Brookfield, or in Burlington. Make sure you tell them that Gabe and Chew sent you.
Want to tie up a loose end here when it comes to Runyon. I know that you were talking, Gabe, about how you're aware that there is mutual interest between the two sides, but there's a big but there, and the but is?
The price has to be right. The price has to be right. Like, it just doesn't make a ton of sense for me if the Packers are sitting here looking at all these other holes that they have, and they don't have a ton of money to work with. They have some, presuming they release David Bakhtiari. They'll have some money to play with. I know right now they're 13 under the cap, but that's basically going to go to the rookie class. So you release Bakhtiari, now you get $20 million to play with. Like, to me, if you have somebody that you like in Sean Ryan, who was already rotating in a year ago, who's going to be, no matter what, cheaper than whatever John Runyon Jr. gets, I don't know why you would bring Runyon back if he's going to make a significant amount of money. That to me is an area where you can save some money because you already have. Now, if they didn't have Sean Ryan, then maybe you feel like you have to go out there and pay John Runyon Jr. But clearly they believe in Ryan at least a little bit.
Well, and
they kept rotating him in.
The other detail of that, when we're talking specifically about Runyon, is the draft situation. If there isn't a deep draft class of offensive linemen, maybe you say we need depth at that position. We obviously have experienced injuries there and know how important it is to have some consistency from year to year. But because the draft is so deep, you can get those guys for cheaper than a free agent, no matter how much mutual interest there may be between the two sides.
It's probably a go see what you can get and we'll make a decision. That'd be my guess.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, he was in tears after the season because he thought his time in Green Bay was done. I think that they looked at the position and said, we could probably upgrade here and spend less money.
Or stay the same and spend less money.
Right.
More to get to in the second hour of Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Stick around.
Never miss out on a second of the show. Find Jen, Gabe, and Chewy on Spotify, Apple, or wherever you get your podcasts with Wisconsin On Demand. Sponsored by Celsius Essential Energy Drink.
We do have some delays. 94 eastbound coming in from just before 84th Street all the way through the Stadium interchange. Right about at 68th Street, we have a squad that pulled a car over. It might be a little bit of a distraction there. Westbound on 94, we've got backups from 16th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. And then on northbound 4394, slowing down around the Plainfield curve up past Oklahoma Avenue. Westbound 894 also slow out of the Mitchell interchange all the way to about 68th Street. Traffic is brought to you by Fifth Third Bank. Custom solutions built around your goals. Member FDIC. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today. More clouds, but dry. A high of 44 at the lake, 48 inland tonight. Cloudy, isolated showers later on with a low of 38. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Loziga on 94.5 ESPN.
At Progressive, we love sports and saving you money, so we bundled them together.
Top of the seventh looks like a pitching change as they've set up for a corner kick. The two black belts have entered the mat, and the slider is low and away. He heads the ball to midfield. This is quite a kumite. Here comes the roundhouse. Has it got enough gas to get out of here? Unbelievable! They've bundled their home and auto insurance with Progressive. Kick savings pitch karate.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company, affiliates, and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
To thank you for 40 unforgettable years, Dell Technologies is celebrating with anniversary savings on their most popular tech. For a limited time only, save on select next-gen PCs like the XPS 13 Plus, powered by Intel Core processors, and more. Plus, curate your dream setup with great deals on select monitors, mice, and more must-have electronics and accessories. When you shop online at Dell.com/deals, you'll have access to leading-edge technology and free shipping on everything. Again, that's Dell.com/deals.
Hey, this is Brad Nortman from KBN. Tune in to Kyle, Brust, and Nortman every day from 2 to 5. WKTI and WKTI HD Milwaukee.
A locally owned Good Karma brand station.
Showtime. The right way to start your day. This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Puppy?
I'm pushing against Puppy.
Don't do it, Puppy. I've lost 2 months of my life.
I sent this to Josh yesterday. She's texting me during the show yesterday because she's at work looking at dogs.
Hey. 3 hours of sleep again last night. 3 hours of sleep because of that dog.
Why don't you call the police?
I did, Jerry. They won't do anything.
Yeah, what dog?
How about the other day when Chewy said something to Joshy about get a life, and you go, I can't, I have a dog.
There is this dog in the courtyard across from my bedroom window that never, ever stops barking.
Dog.
I lost my voice just screaming at this thing.
Is there rent a dog? I think that's a great idea.
We've talked about
you can foster a puppy.
Nah, just rent it.
I can't sleep. I can't work. I mean, I just moved. I can't move again. What am I going to do?
This is Jen, Gabe, and Chewy, broadcasting live from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All studios at the Avenue with Gabe Neitzel and Mark Chamorro. Here's Jen Latta.
Running her mouth, she wants to ride it, she's trying to hide it. I'm cool as ever, she's too excited. Her man look like he wanna fight, he ain't doing nothing but running his mouth.
I guess before we go too far down this road, I want to ask you guys very quickly, zip around, bop around. Chewy, Gabe, Joshy. Will the Packers be active in free agency this year, Chew?
There might be one splash. And you know what? After our last conversation, They have a lot of guys that are just guys, right? Runyon, Rudy Ford, Keyshawn Nixon, the gymnast.
The last three guys you listed are also all free agents.
And the gymnast, I believe, is Jonathan Owens.
That's correct.
And
yeah,
wow.
Wife is the one that's the gymnast.
But they can't let them all go. I mean,
that's
they
what
can
Gabe's
from
been
the,
saying. Like,
Yeah.
you
they
already
can
have
from
holes.
But they can from the standpoint defensively, Jen, because they're learning a new system, right? So if you feel you can upgrade from Ford, Keyshawn, Owens, now is the time to do it because everyone has to start fresh and learn a whole new system. If they weren't, then there's familiarity with the system and someone new has to come in. Because I was thinking, they cannot let Yash and Ryan go, or Runyon, can they?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And Bakhtiari.
Yeah, I mean, Bakhtiari is...
No, I know. I'm just saying, like, everybody assumes that Bakhtiari is gone because of, well, the track record and, of course, the money that you would get back from releasing him.
Mm-hmm.
But let's just say that they let them all go. They let Runyon go and Yash go, and they draft a guy in the 4th, 5th, and 6th round, and they all suck. Dude, you're in trouble. If you hit injuries, your season is in jeopardy.
Yeah, but they already think that Yash stinks.
I don't think they think he stinks, Gabe. I think they think he's lazy.
I think I'd rather have somebody who stinks.
I appreciate the quick spin around on that one, Chew. That was
that didn't answer the question.
We were talking about free agency, but yes, thank you very much. No, it's good information. Honestly, Gabe, will they be active in free agency? Yes or no?
Okay. Define active. Like they're actually going to get someone because the one thing
don't
that Goody
do it. Don't you
is
do it?
Famous
don't
for,
you do it?
You know what Goody likes to do more than anything?
In on.
He likes to get in on guys.
In on.
So the Packers' name is going to be floated around. You know Goody's having those conversations.
So active means actually acquiring someone.
Yeah, they will acquire. I think so.
One splash.
Yeah, which is really all they can afford. Really is one splash or a couple of mid-level guys, that add up to that one splash. But I think you are going to see the Packers. It's not going to be look at these 4 guys we brought in, back in 2019 when they went out and got the Smith brothers and got Adrian Amos and Billy Turner. But I think you're going to see the biggest free agent signings since those guys.
I love that it's okay to call them the Smith brothers, but when I tried to get the Allentine brothers going, you guys mocked me relentlessly. Joshy?
It's because
you have a track record,
although Chewy was on board with me. Chewy was on board with the Allentine and the Valentine. Okay, I'll take anybody at this point, okay? It's very lonely over here. Joshy, active in free agency, acquiring a free agent, yes or no?
Let me follow the prompt correctly here and do it quickly. Yes, they do acquire people in free agency. It is nothing as exciting as the names we've been talking about, though.
Suck up.
It's not a suck up. I just wanted
just sucking up to you.
No. I just want to know.
We started the answer.
Well, because I asked you guys to do it quickly, and we're now 7 minutes into the segment. I don't know what you want from me. I wanted to get to this article that Matt Schneidman put out about big swings. What big swings could GM Brian Gutekunst take? And some of the names that we have been mentioning all week long with regards to the safety position, with regards to the linebacker position, with regards to the running back position are on this list. So let me rattle them off for you, and you guys tell me, again, can we do this quickly? Are we capable of this?
No.
Do I need to say Simon Says in order to get you guys to follow the prompt?
Look, this is on you. We've been doing this thing for 3.5 years. You're expecting to get something done quickly. That's on you.
Not gonna
Expectations have been set over the last 3.5 years.
And I'm not changing the expectation. I believe you can do it. I'm not giving up on y'all like Packers are giving up on Yash. Xavier McKinney is the first one. Do you think the Packers take a big swing and go out and get the big fish safety free agent in Xavier McKinney?
If it's $13 million.
I think he's going to end up in a bidding war and the Packers bow out.
Yes.
I'm with Gabe.
Okay, so then the next one on the list is Jordan.
But they're going to be in the mix.
They're going to be in, what did we say?
In the mix.
No, in it. In the mix? No, I thought we said something else. Jordan Fuller. He's the other safety name that you're seeing a lot of people mention.
I'm a yes.
I think a yes. If they don't get Xavier McKinney, I think yes on Fuller. I am convinced that they are going to get a free agent safety.
It's going to be Quandre Diggs.
You think?
all the other ones are going to be gone, and they're going to have to take just a take a flyer on the older safety.
I don't love that. I don't love going to the buffet and the barbecue chicken being gone and the filet being gone and the lemon chicken being gone. So you're like, it's fine. Let's have a hamburger. I don't love that.
What about
You can't
Adam?
even get cheese for the cheeseburger.
What about Adams from Seattle if he's cheap?
Can't cover.
Yeah, no, I again, they just released both safeties. I'd rather take Diggs out of Seattle than Adams at this point.
Anybody from the Bills that they released? Anybody there get you excited?
I mean, Poyer's getting up there in age. I mean, White
Got a
at,
little Rodgers to him.
yeah, White at corner's interesting. I mean, I don't even know if they have a roster. Do they have a team
I don't
anymore?
know. They got linebacker issues. I think they may go with a running linebacker.
Packers?
In the first round.
We're
A
talking free
linebacker that
agency,
can
bud.
run.
What just happened?
Here we go. We follow the damn promise.
And in the last segment, we were talking about the first round, and you didn't, not a sniff of a linebacker mention. Not a sniff. In fact, you led me to believe that you thought they were going to go defensive line.
I don't know.
Good Lord.
It's going to be defense. How's that?
It's a new audience every segment, so he's got to try out different takes.
Basically, we're just tattling on him is what we're doing. Nobody that was listening now, who wasn't listening before, knew that he was talking out of both sides of his mouth. It's just us that are letting everybody know. Julian Blackmon, also on the list of free agent safeties that Matt Schneidman mentions as a big swing for Brian Gutekunst and company. I like Blackmon. I actually don't mind any of these guys.
Yeah.
I don't mind McKinney. I don't mind Blackmon. I don't mind Fuller.
I think what's working in the Packers' advantage is we saw the safety market completely tank. So now there's just simply not enough money for the amount of guys that are available.
So they should be able to get a good
It
one.
could work in the Packers' advantage.
To me, Geno Stone kind of seems like right up the
Packers
Packers'
guy.
alley. Well, because he's a little bit cheaper. He's not, as old as some of these other guys are. I mean, he's not as young as McKinney, but it would be very similar. You're picking up a safety. It's not going to cost as much. You still like his youth, his potential. Like Geno Stone seems like the Packers type guy.
All right, let's say they do get a safety in free agency. Who's the other guy?
What do you mean?
Who's the
Who's
other
it gonna
safety?
Oh, the other safety?
Yeah.
The other safety.
Typically, you'd like to have two, but I mean, I don't know how they feel about Johnson Jr.
Well, it's going to be Gymnast, probably.
Yeah. I mean, maybe they keep Jonathan Owens around.
Who's a guy?
Yeah.
I mean, I know you can't have
That's
everyone
the point,
can't be
is
a
that
stud.
at least a portion of this roster is going to be just a guy.
I think guy is nice for Jonathan Owen.
Just a guy is nice?
Yeah.
He's a step below that?
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a rookie starting at the other one, depending on where they draft one. There's enough guys in there that have the physical tools. Are they going to be able to pick up a defense and do it that well? I don't know. Maybe it's Rudy Ford to start, and then it moves around.
So you think there's a possibility of free agent and like a second-round pick starting at safety?
Totally.
Okay.
Might be tough. Might have some blown coverages.
Does
but
it feel like that entire defensive back group is going to be new? I mean, other than Jair, who we believe is going to kind of, hold down his side, could you see 3 new guys out there? Or do you think the other corner is pretty well set?
I mean, I don't think. I think
it's all on Stokes.
Competition. Well, I'm not even factoring Stokes in.
He's out on Stokes.
I'm
Really?
not factoring him in. Yeah.
As in not making the team?
Well, no,
Or
he'll be on the team.
Not being
but
the other
I don't
starting
think he's
corner?
the other starting corner. I think he's a depth piece, and if he ends up playing well, I feel at this point I can't count on him, Chew. I can't go, I'm going to pencil him in for anything.
Does it change anything that his injuries aren't connected? Or aren't like the same nagging one? It seems to be totally different things affecting his play.
But now he has a hamstring.
Correct.
Once you have that once, okay, could it come up and bite you again?
Join Christian Watson at UW-Madison.
Yeah, that's send him in the same bus over there to UW. So I think that right now their two best are obviously Jair and then Valentine. But Valentine's a 7th-round pick. I like him. I like his attitude. I like his competitiveness. But adding more competition at that spot, if he doesn't end up as the other starting corner, I would not be shocked if we end up with 3 new starters in that backfield, where he ends up being your 3rd or 4th, your nickel or your dime
I don't
guy.
think it's far-fetched.
No, not at all.
But are they acquiring it in the draft? Are we talking about? So we're talking about a rookie and maybe a free agent and Jair. If you're not in nickel.
Yeah.
And if you are, you put Valentine out there.
Maybe. I mean, so there's the thing with Valentine. I think he's more of a boundary corner than somebody who's going to be playing inside.
Yeah.
I think at this point, Valentine has to lose his job. I think it's his.
So you think it's Jair and Valentine as your starting corners?
And then that nickel is either it's Keyshawn Nixon or someone they bring in.
Well, oddly enough, the one name that keeps coming up for that position is Savage, where he changes positions.
Play nickel?
Yeah. there have been a couple of times that's been floated out there, Chew, by a couple of different
Why does that make you laugh, Chew?
Reporters. He can't cover.
He can't even cover tight
Could
end.
you
How
let
the hell
him
is he
answer
gonna
the
cover
question?
a zebra?
I know that he has shown not to be able to follow the bouncing ball, but I thought maybe he could just answer the question for us.
He can't cover a tight end. How's he going to cover a third receiver? And most teams have the third receiver is pretty damn good. I'm not sold on any of their nickels, to tell you the truth.
Yeah, I don't think that they're sold on Keyshawn Nixon. And Keyshawn, despite having the most kick returns in the NFL last year, unless they change the kickoff rule, that position becomes less and less valuable.
Yes.
And that's the best part of him is the way he can return kicks.
So they let him go?
I think it's possible. Now, if something comes out of maybe he sits out there and after the competition committee and the owners get together, and if they make a rule change at the end of the month, maybe teams get excited and try to go get Keyshawn Nixon because he has value. But I don't know if there's going to be a ton of interest in Keyshawn when free agency opens next week.
Shout out to a friend of ours on the YouTube channel, Sean, who said, per Adam Schefter, the Broncos are releasing former All-Pro safety Justin Simmons after 8 seasons in Denver, per league sources. Now, Simmons, I just looked it up, is 30 years old, which is significantly older than a lot of these other guys that we have mentioned as free agents who are in the 24, 25 range.
Yeah.
I think I'd rather go with a younger guy than a 30-year-old, even though Simmons has a resume. What did he say? How many times has he made the Pro Bowl?
He's a 2-time Pro Bowler, 4-team, second-time All-Pro.
Does that get you excited at all?
Young. No, I think they want to go young there.
I think what's probably messing him up is that so many people in the market right now are, and I'm not talking about a couple of years or a couple of months. I mean, there's a big difference between the tread on a 24-year-old safety and the tread on a 30-year-old safety.
But, I mean, there could be some good value for some of those guys that maybe are a little bit older. I mean, with all these safeties that are suddenly hitting the market, we had the conversation earlier this week about running backs and how that market's depressed, not just because teams don't want to pay them, but because of all the running backs out there. Simple supply and demand tells you that with all those safeties that are free agents, you might be able to find a good value with an older one potentially.
Who's the last offensive lineman they took high? You remember? First or second round?
First or second round. Well, Elton was a second-round pick.
He was? Okay.
Yeah.
But that's been years.
4?
Yeah. 4 or 5, something like that.
What made you think about that, bud?
Because I think they're going to go O-line.
Flip flopper.
How many positions in the last 15 minutes have you thought they were drafting in the first?
What is going on with
Did Aaron Rodgers play 65% of his plays this year?
He certainly did not.
Famously only played 4.
I thought we had 2 first-round picks.
Yeah, okay. We have 25, 41, 58, 88, 91.
They could trade up.
They could.
They have 2 second-round picks.
Is that your trapdoor here? Is that your escape hatch that you're using here for telling us that they're going to take a
O-line,
and
maybe
linebacker. And linebacker.
And linebacker.
Don't forget about linebacker.
We're running out of draft picks here, big guy.
Good grief. All of a sudden, he's talking about offensive linemen. I go, what the hell? We were just talking about safeties, and now the Broncos released a safety. Are you in on the 30-year-old safety? Nothing. Offensive line. When's the last time? Potawatomi Casino Hotel Milwaukee has something bigger, better, and bolder coming the first week of May. Mark your calendars, guys. It's the long-awaited grand opening of their state-of-the-art sportsbook venue. It's a 2,000-square-foot video wall. It's luxury seating for more than 200 people. It's expanded food menus, and you guys are going to love this. There is also a broadcast booth where we will be doing radio shows and television shows going forward. The all-new Potawatomi Sportsbook venue is going to be a sports fan paradise. You know, Gabe over here is going to Vegas next week, and he's going to be seeing the sports books. He's going to be seeing all those big spots. This one right here is going to rival those Vegas sportsbook. That has always been the thing they have told us. You are going to be so impressed when you see what they have done with the Potawatomi Casino Hotel Sportsbook. Mark your calendars for the grand opening. It is the first week of May when sports betting in Milwaukee becomes like nothing you have ever seen before. Bet big, bet bold at Potawatomi Casino Hotel.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy continues next on 94.5 ESPN.
Eastbound 94 backing up from about 76th Street through the Stadium interchange. Westbound side starts to slow down around 35th Street all the way to Mitchell Boulevard. We've also got southbound 43, a couple of pockets of heavy traffic between Keefe and Locust. Northbound 4394 a little slow, just basically between Howard Avenue and Oklahoma Avenue. Traffic is brought to you by the Golden Mast Wedding Showcase this Sunday from 10 until 3 at the Golden Mast Inn. The perfect event for those planning their rehearsal dinners and dream weddings. Register at goldenmastin.com. And check out the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast. Today, more clouds but dry, a high of 44 at the lake, 48 inland. Tonight, cloudy, isolated showers later on with a low of 38. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga, 94.5 ESPN.
Nelnet Incorporated, the nation's largest, most respected student loan servicer, has document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems. Facilities Coordinator, Sunday Heidemann.
James Imaging has been a local provider for us for many years. They are reliable, they're responsible, and they take care of all of our printer needs.
Just what you'd expect from a 100% Wisconsin-owned and managed business technology company.
I think we get a great value with James Imaging with their service and the contracts that we have with them, that our cost stays low and we get the most for our money.
Sunday, what's the benefit for you with James Imaging Systems?
It makes my job more enjoyable, that I can count on these people to do what they're trained to do, and I have no worries because I know I'm going to be taken care of.
James Imaging Systems. Call 262-781-7700. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Is your business looking for localized banking solutions and a strategic partner? Fifth Third Bank has been looking forward to the future and helping businesses shape what's next for 165 years, and for the last 15 here in Milwaukee. They offer industry-specific expertise, local decision-making capabilities, and extensive experience to help navigate the complexities of a constantly changing business market environment. With your business in mind, commercial banking value only Fifth Third can deliver. Fifth Third Bank, National Association, custom solutions built around your goals, member FDIC.
We've told you about Moses Hadara,
the diamond cutter who created the Kessler 81.
The magical diamond that vibrates with light.
Kessler's works with crazy diamond cutters.
Geniuses who create wonderful, spectacular,
crazy diamond shapes.
The one thing these crazy genius diamonds all have in common
is that they explode with light.
The Kessler Emerald Cut diamond sends out rippling waves of light, like water lapping onto a beach.
The Kessler Square Radiant Diamond glows like the sun on the horizon.
Sometimes sunrise,
sometimes sunset.
Come to Kessler's.
Come to Kessler's.
Come to Kessler's.
Ask to see the rippling waves of light, like water on the beach.
Ask to see the glow that looks like sunrise and sunset.
Ask to see the Kessler Crazy Genius Diamonds.
See them for yourself.
See them for yourself.
See them for yourself.
To find the Kesslers nearest you, visit KesslersDiamonds.com.
The top 8 at 8.
Name something that follows the word pork.
You pie.
Huh?
One category.
Name something people take with them to the beach.
Turkey.
The top 8 answers.
The first thing you buy in a supermarket.
Turkey.
The top 8 at 8.
A food often stuffed.
Turkey.
The top 8 at 8 on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Name Popeye's favorite food.
Chicken.
Show me chicken!
The top 8 at 8 on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Was just watching that Aaron Rodgers clip that was circulating about the fish route with Jordy Nelson. If you haven't seen it, it is very enjoyable. It is Rodgers talking football. You see his face light up. It is vintage Rodgers. So if you haven't caught that yet, go ahead and take a look. Gabe? What do we got today for top 8 at 8?
Don't feel great about this, but it was somehow the easiest one I came up with after trying to come up with a couple of different lists with free agency starting next week. So I have a list of 8 things in front of me. Jen and Chew guess back and forth. Once they each get one incorrect, we open it up to you, the fan, 800-990-3776. Whoever gets the last one on the list wins an ESPN Milwaukee prize pack. I am looking for the last 8 Packers Pro Bowlers who were not Packers draft picks. Last 8 Packers Pro Bowlers who were not Packers draft picks.
This doesn't feel great. Packers Pro Bowlers who they didn't draft.
Correct.
So who they acquired via trade or via free agency. How many times do you think you can before he takes it as an answer?
I got a couple, but it's kind of far back.
How about Charles Woodson?
Charles Woodson, 4-time Pro Bowler with the Packers, is number 6 on the list.
Also, let's be specific here. They weren't drafted.
That's why I said trade or free agency.
Right,
Is there another?
But think about what you can do typically around the draft that isn't technically the draft. UDFAs?
Oh, yeah, I suppose, yeah.
Julius Peppers.
Julius Peppers, number 2 on the list, made the Pro Bowl in 2015.
I'm very nervous about how far back this is going to go. Number 6 was Charles Woodson.
Yep. He made the Pro Bowl in 2011, made him number 6, but he also made the Pro Bowl in 10, 9, and 8.
Smith? Do I have to pick
me?
Smith? Zadarius Smith?
Zadarius Smith, number 1 on the list, made the Pro Bowl in 2020 and 2019.
Why are you laughing?
John Smith.
I just figured it was the most popular name. Let's just go with that.
Smith. Emmett Smith.
I didn't know if Preston had made a Pro Bowl or not.
Okay. Receivers. No.
You're just really giving us a look.
I got this. Might be a little. I don't think it is. Amon Green.
So Amon Green would have been number 9 on the list here. Just outside the top.
What year was that, Gabe?
The last time Amon Green made the Pro Bowl.
205.
Give me a second. Yeah, right around there.
Okay. That's fine. Jen, you want to go with Brown this time?
White. Reggie. No. Did not draft. Made the Pro Bowl.
This is a good list, Gabe.
Is it a good list?
Yes.
Tough list.
Tougher
It's a
than
tough
Woodpecker
list, and somehow the easiest list that I came up with my brain this morning.
Jeff Saturday.
Jeff Saturday made a Pro Bowl in
That's a good
2012.
call.
Now, I just want you to know I'm looking at a list right now of Pro Bowlers. That's the list I'm looking at.
That's cheating.
No, it's
kind
not
of a
cheating.
cheat.
I'm not looking at the list of
No, that's cheating.
Pro Bowlers that the Packers
You are
didn't.
now officially cheating.
Yeah, that's cheating.
I'm looking at a list of Pro Bowlers.
now
That is not the
officially-
list.
you are
Time
officially
out.
cheating.
Time out.
Yeah,
What is
yes.
the category for this list?
Non-Packers draft picks.
So all you have to decipher is if they were drafted or not. That's
Exactly.
cheating.
That's not cheating.
It's
That is
100%
cheating.
cheating.
We're going to the callers.
Open it up.
Wait, Chew, are you out? Oh, yeah. You guessed
Yeah.
He guessed Amon Green.
Amon Green.
What a
Let me
cheater.
just pamp.
How isn't
pull
that
up the answer
cheating?
key.
It's not the answer key, though. It's a list of Pro Bowlers. Now, I have to decide if they were drafted by the Packers or if they were obtained in other ways, which I know Jeff Saturday was. You're going to the callers, aren't you?
Yeah.
800-990-3776.
That's good.
Jinx. I don't think that's cheating. I'm not looking at the list of the
For
answers.
somebody who's been accused of cheating on this program before,
Yes.
I feel like I've made it very clear that there's a lot of gray area in the cheating space.
you seem willing
It's
to
not
bend
cheating.
the rule.
I'm looking at a list of Pro Bowlers.
That has all the answers on it.
I have to determine which ones were drafted by the Packers and which ones were
Which,
obtained
if you have the list in
other
front
ways.
of you, is pretty easy to figure out.
What do you mean easy to figure out? I've got
How do
the
you
list
think
of
I
Pro
did it
Bowlers.
this morning?
I just assumed you were looking at a list of Pro Bowlers that were not drafted by the Packers.
No. You're looking at the Wikipedia list? Is that what you're doing?
I am on Wikipedia, yeah.
That's
800-990-3776. Let's go out to AC in Tosa. You're on with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Can you complete the top 8 at 8 list?
Can you give me the ones guessed already so far?
Zadarius Smith, Julius Peppers are 1-2. Jeff Saturday is 5, being selected in 2012. Charles Woodson, 6. He went to the Pro Bowl in 2011, along with 3 other years. Joshy gave a pretty big hint
He was already
earlier.
taken.
Need an answer.
I wanted to say. All right. Safety. I can't remember his name. Sorry.
All right.
Redder?
800-990-3776. Let's go out to Steve in Kenosha. Steve, you're on with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Can you complete our top 8 at 8 list?
Okay, I'm going to say Brett Favre.
Brett Favre goes too far back, so he was just outside the top 8. But again, would have been a qualified answer since he was not drafted by the Packers. Favre, by the way, would have been 10 on the list.
Let's go out to John in Milwaukee. John, you're up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Can you complete our top 8 at 8 list?
Man, this is a tough one.
It is a tough one.
Ryan Grant.
Ryan Grant goes too far back as well.
800-990-3776. Mike and Franklin, you're up next. Can you complete our top 8 at 8 list?
I had some of the old timers, but I'm gonna guess I'm gonna go with Preston Smith.
Preston Smith has not made a Pro Bowl with the Packers, so that is an incorrect guess.
Nick in Oconomowoc, you're on with Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Can you complete our top 8 at 8 list?
Tremont Williams.
Tremont Williams made the Pro Bowl back in 2010. He's number 7 on the list.
Oof, it's far back.
Good one.
And then this might be too far back, but Al Harris.
Al Harris is number 8 on the list.
Nice.
2008. So we just have number 3 and number 4 left on the list.
I don't know if I have anybody for that. I don't. DeAndre Campbell?
DeAndre Campbell, oddly enough, first team All-Pro, but never a Pro Bowler with the Green Bay Packers.
800-990-3776. Sam in Kenosha, you're up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Can you complete our top 8 at 8 list?
I'm going to go with Sam Shields.
Sam Shields, undrafted free agent Sam Shields, made the Pro Bowl in 2014.
Was that the one you were talking about, Joshy?
Was Tremont the same?
So Tremont was on the practice squad for the Texans before he came to the Packers, but he played started his his first NFL game with the Packers. We just have number 3 left on the list.
So is that between Shields? Can you give me the?
Yep, I'll give you the years here.
After?
So Zadarius Smith is number 1, made the Pro Bowl in 2020-2019. Julius Peppers is number 2, made the Pro Bowl in 2015. Sam Shields is number 4, made the Pro Bowl in 2014.
Oh boy. I don't think I have a guess.
All right, just need one more.
800-990-3776. Looking for a contestant to play and win top 8 at 8. Gabe, go ahead and tell us the category and reset the list while we wait for callers.
The last 8 non-Packers draft picks that made the Pro Bowl for the Packers. Darius Smith, number 1. Julius Peppers, number 2. Do not have number 3. Sam Shields is 4. Jeff Saturday, 5. Charles Woodson, 6. Tremont Williams, 7. Al Harris was number 8 all the way back in 2008. So you're looking for somebody between Peppers and Shields. Peppers went to the Pro Bowl in 15. Shields went in 14. So that's what we're looking for.
Maybe it's a principal thing. People not guessing this one. Maybe it's a principal thing. It's a principal thing. Andy in Milwaukee, you're up next on Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. Can you complete our top 8 at 8 list?
I'm going to take a stab. John Kuhn.
John Kuhn.
Like I said.
Is number 3. 2015, 14, and made the Pro Bowl in 2011. Began his career with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Mason Crosby, was he a draft pick?
He was a draft pick.
And did he ever make the Pro Bowl? He was?
He was a draft pick. I do not believe he was ever a Pro Bowl.
I didn't see him on the list. That 2014 team had a boatload of guys.
Yeah, it was a really good team.
Folks weighing in on the ESPN Milwaukee talk and text line, 100% cheating by Steve Wilkham. Kevin takes it up a notch and says it's 1,000% cheating. But we got good content, so it's okay.
We could hit 100% on that poll.
If it was cheating, though, I don't have the list in front of me. I have a list.
I'm not has all the answers on it.
God. I'm not the God. I'm a God. Okay.
Splitting a fine hair there.
Exactly, but I do think it would get me off on the I don't know what I was going to say. I lost it. I looked over. Gabe was making a face, and I lost it. Well, that was fun, Gabe. Good list. I thought you were going to do like safeties, like the depth of safeties or the history of safeties.
I tried to come up with like a free agent list. Like, okay, multi-year deals for the Green Bay Packers. Pat O'Donnell would have been number one on the list.
Wow. Because the most recent.
Yeah. Like, if you did multi-year, like, free agents that the Packers had signed, even if I upped it to, like, 3 years, Brett Good would have been number 8 on the list.
Love Brett.
Like, just impossible to just, like, have 8 free agents that the Packers, like, have significantly signed. It was tough coming up with this.
Folks weighing in on our Jen, Gabe, and Chewy Twitter account. Nick saying, I think your feed is glitching. I got in the car and dropped 1 kid off, dropped 2 kids off, then got gas. Every time I got back in the car, Chewy had stated a different position he thinks the Packers are drafting with their first round pick.
This is the best of.
We've just compiled a boatload of shows.
Yeah, best of Chewy's brain. That's what we're doing right now. Palermo's is Wisconsin's hometown pizza, and it's easy to see why they're so good at what they do. They've been doing this in Wisconsin for 60 years. So they are synonymous when it comes to fantastic frozen pizza. No matter the brand you're looking for, no matter the style of pizza you're looking for. If you're looking for something with a little more artisan crust, check out Urban Pie. Something with a great thinner crust, classic, Connie's. Maybe you're looking for something that has a stuffed crust. Well, Screamin' Sicilian has an I'm stuffed crust pizza, all available to you. Whatever you're looking for in your pizza, Palermo's has a slice that is going to satisfy your appetite. So make sure you find Palermo's in your grocer's frozen food aisle. Palermo's. It's Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
More Jen, Gabe, and Chewy coming up on 94.5 ESPN.
We do have some backups on eastbound 94, basically from 76th Street through the Stadium interchange. Westbound is cleared up nicely. We're looking good between the Marquette and the Zoo. Northbound 4394, a little heavy right past Oklahoma Avenue, and the rest of the system is moving along great. And checking the TMJ4 Storm Team forecast today, more clouds but dry. A high of 44 at the lake, 48 inland. Tonight, cloudy with isolated showers later on, a low of 38. From the WTMJ Traffic Center, I'm Debbie Lazaga on 94.5 ESPN.
ESPN Wisconsin's Mark Tauscher here, and there is one thing I think everyone can agree on. Potholes stink. And this year's weather will make it one of the worst years yet. Well, Johnson & Sons Paving is ready to take on the challenge with a team that has over 2 decades of experience. When the potholes pop up in your asphalt, Johnson & Sons Paving can patch or replace the whole area. Book an appointment now at johnsonsonspaving.com. Get that appointment booked before May 31st, and you might even see Old T on the job site for a visit. Find full contest details at ESPNWisconsinContest.com.
This is the time of year to enjoy your life. Stop letting that pain in your joints keep you from doing what you want to do this spring. Call QC Kinetics now. QC Kinetics is the nation's leader in regenerative medicine. I'm talking about joint pain relief with no surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. It is a fact. QC Kinetics is literally transforming lives. Their advanced treatments harness your body's own ability to restore and repair that damaged joint tissue. Pro athletes have been doing this for decades, but now this life-changing treatment is available for you. So you can walk and run, climb stairs, play golf, move again, pain-free. No pain pills, no risky surgery. This is an all-natural solution. QC Kinetics has tens of thousands of satisfied patients who have reclaimed their mobility. Take action now. Live your best life this spring and summer. And it's a great use of your tax refund check. Call QC Kinetics for a free consultation. Call 414-285-3474. That's 414-285-3474. 414-285-3474.
Hi, it's John Reitz from Great Midwest Bank. And you know, there's more to being a local Wisconsin bank than perfectly pronouncing Oconomowoc or Waukesha. Or is it Waukesha? But rest assured, at Great Midwest Bank, we understand the local community and economy because we're a part of it. At GMB, we provide customized lending products that others just can't offer. Experience a hometown banking difference. Head to greatmidwestbank.com. Great Midwest Bank, your simply local equal housing lender.
Whether you're a local who wants to enjoy a night out or you're planning to visit Milwaukee, enjoy an artfully stylish experience at St. Kate the Arts Hotel. The hotel is ideally located in the heart of the theater district in downtown Milwaukee. With deluxe accommodations, culinary creativity, on-site galleries, and nightly live music, you'll enjoy every element of your stay at St. Kate. Book special hotel packages with room rates starting as low as $129 a night. Learn more and book your stay at stkatearts.com. ESPN Milwaukee's Jen Latta here to tell you about one of the best purchases I recently made, an infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas. It's an easy-to-install sauna that is great for a post-workout, travel, or long-day detoxification, and it has a rapid heat-up time. Using Good Health Saunas can also help reduce stress, improve circulation, and make your skin glow. Got an athlete in your family or just someone with an active lifestyle? Infrared saunas are perfect for muscle and tissue recovery as well. Learn more today at goodhealthsaunas.com, goodhealthsaunas.com.
You're listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Do you like your pickles warm or cold?
Want my pickle a little warm.
Warm's good.
It's better than cold.
Cold
You
can
got
be
shrinkage.
good, too.
Yeah, well, no.
Cold
Shrinkage
can
gets
be good.
involved. It's not great.
On 94.5 ESPN.
About the best purchase that I have made recently, and that is our infrared sauna. Sits in our basement, doesn't bother anybody, takes about 25 cents a day from an electricity standpoint, but has given me a fantastic, better sleep, better skin, better recovery. Pretty much across the board, I feel better having my infrared sauna from Good Health Saunas. And if you guys are in the market for a sauna, maybe you're just interested in better wellness and longevity, a sauna is a great option. So go to their website, goodhealthsaunas.com. That's goodhealthsaunas.com. There you can see a lot of the different infrared saunas that they offer. Maybe personalize it for you. It is a local company. They're based out of Appleton and Waukesha. And I'm telling you, if this is a space that you've been thinking about, now's the time to make it happen. Goodhealthsaunas.com, goodhealthsaunas.com. I love a road trip. I love stopping at the gas station, filling up on my snackies. I've got very specific snackies that I get when I go on a road trip. I am a ranch corn nuts gal all the way. I love
Nobody wants to be in the car with you then.
beef jerky. That's exactly what my husband says. Oh, please don't get the corn nuts.
Beef jerky's stinky too.
It is. I got a line on some really good jerky, guys. It's jalapeno.
You got a good dealer? You got a good jerky dealer?
Yeah. He opens up his trench coat. He's got them all just stacked there, hanging by little clips. It's a jalapeno cheddar pork bite. Oh, it's very good. I got Chase turned on them.
But the fact that you don't floss, Jen, is very concerning. Eating
I do
beef jerky.
floss. I have flossers.
What, now?
Well, yeah, after my dentist told me that I had to, because at one point they found a steak back there.
Full one?
Yeah, pretty much. He was like, oh, ribeye last night? Yeah, how'd you know? It's still back there. No wonder I was still hungry. It never hit the stomach. So yesterday on Unsportsmanlike, they were talking about road tripping. Apparently, Hembo is going on a road trip, and they were talking about who were the best road trip passengers. And wouldn't you know it, Evan Cohen, our buddy, our pal, host of Unsportsmanlike with Chris Canty and Michelle Smallman, picked me. Take a listen.
So when you're on a road trip, you want to have fun, you want to laugh, you don't want it to be too serious. And so my first pick is somebody that I think I have a similar sense of humor. We get along very well. I am going to take from College Game Day, Jen Latta.
Oh, Jen's a great pick.
ESPN Milwaukee as
She's on
well.
my big board.
That Jen and I, how do I say this nicely? Make fun of the same people that we know.
I'm right here,
to
Evan.
their face. Yeah. Oh, I didn't say you weren't one of them, and you've been a part of it. So I'm going Jen with my first pick here.
Now, he had a choice of all the people at ESPN.
He has no idea about the corn nuts, though. I feel the corn nuts drops you down the big board.
Well, I didn't tell him about the corn nuts.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's hiding. That's trying to hide something at the combine. Then it comes out after you get drafted. And you go, oh man, I made a terrible mistake.
Maybe he likes corn nuts.
Can't imagine.
Can we text him and ask?
The only
Let's
people
just
who
ask
like
him.
corn nuts are when they're eating them. Everyone else hates them.
But maybe he's another person that likes corn nuts. First of all, I was very surprised. He had a lot of other people he could have picked to go on a road trip with. But I actually am a very good road tripper. I got a good playlist. I can make good conversation, talk about just about anything. Not with any level of expertise, just, a willingness to talk about it. And I feel like that's the criteria, Chew, for a good road trip partner.
I would agree. I mean, if I was to pick from our station, do you guys have a list? I've got a
who
list.
do you? Yeah, I want to know.
My number one would be Kyle.
Yep.
Really?
Kyle.
Kyle would not be my number one.
Kyle prepared. Kyle doesn't talk too much. Kyle knows when to keep it quiet. Kyle would just be very respectful of the car. He would be a great shotgun guy. My number 2, Ashton.
Whoa! I had Ashley on my list.
Whoa. Out of anyone in the station, he would be the one most likely to cry if I ever got pulled over to the cop.
Okay, I was not prepared for that.
Am I right?
This is not making more sense.
I just assumed
he'd get us out of a ticket.
No, I put him on my list because he's definitely going to bring homemade snacks. Right?
No.
Yes.
What makes you think he's going to do that?
That's
well, he
number
didn't do
one
it for us,
criteria?
but he would do it for me.
No.
Yes.
No, he would not.
I think he would.
No, he has
Some brownies,
long shown that he doesn't care about this show.
Snickerdoodles.
He's moved on from this show. We tried to get a sandwich on his food truck. He decided, no. I mean, I can't believe you would have Benedict Ashton on top of your list.
Not a top. Just on the list. He's not atop the list.
Well, who's on top of your list?
Atop my list is Tausch. I think Tausch would be a fantastic road trip
Tausch
partner.
would be okay.
He would be
big problem.
What do you mean big problem?
Big problem. He
Gas?
forward motion syndrome. If you have to pee, he's not stopping.
Fine by me.
He's made his children
Fine by
cry
me.
every-
I am a believer in efficiency. I will power through that bad boy just like Tausch. We'd be
You
perfect
sprinted
partners.
to the bathroom the other day because you couldn't hold it for 2 minutes.
Yes, the key word was sprinted. I sprinted it.
But I'm just saying, like, if you went, the segment started, you couldn't power through for 2 minutes.
No.
You're going to power through for 2 hours?
First of all, you've known me for at least 4 years now. I definitely could pee in a cup if I needed to, Gabe. So that's not going to be a problem.
I don't think that makes you a good road trip partner.
And I'm just saying that if Tausch's thing is that we have to keep moving, I would be able to do so. I'm just saying. I think that. Go ahead, Chew.
I guarantee our list would be the exact same on who not to choose.
Well,
to go in the car.
We all know who the number one pick there is, or the number one.
Hold on, let's whisper it, just in case we're not in the same.
Homer or Brust? No way in hell.
Yeah. Well,
Am I right?
No. So I'm telling you this, Chewy, for the things that you described, Homer would be. I mean, if you don't want any talking, Homer's just going to sleep the entire time.
But does he snore?
No, he does not.
What?
As somebody who did a show with Homer, and every Friday we had to go to Madison. So I would drive us to Madison every Friday when we were doing the afternoon show. We had to do that from the Edgewater in Madison. He would just snooze. Homer's just snoozing. You've got control over the radio. You can do pretty much whatever you want. It is going to take
but the problem is, Gabe,
some sort of major weather event to wake that man up.
Yeah, but he's probably a narcoleptic, and he'd fall asleep while driving. That's the problem.
But I mean, you don't put him behind the wheel. You got to drive the entire time.
And is Benny obvious? Because he's Benny?
Yeah.
Oh, I've got him number one.
Yeah, he's the least person you want to go on a road trip
A lack
with.
of self-awareness, right?
Yeah,
An ability
100%.
to read a situation and when you need quiet and when you need a pump-up song because you're starting to get a little deep into the road trip and the lines on the road are starting to hypnotize you a little
Ben's
bit.
going to be hurt by that. He's a road trip guy.
Is he?
Really?
I think he.
See, I would throw Jason on the list, but Jason would be the one going, don't you think you're going a little too fast?
Jason has a lot of experience road tripping, back and forth, Green Bay to Milwaukee all the time for the girls' activities. I've got Brad Nortman as number 3 on my list. So my list goes Tausch, Ashton, Brad Nortman. Are we even allowed to pick Ashton? Does he count? I guess it could have gone any number of ways.
I mean, I think you're going to have Ashton on the list.
Okay, that's my list.
See, my
Tausch,
3 would be
Ashton, Brad Nortman.
My 3 would be Kyle, Ashton, and then Greg Mastick. Very responsible.
Yes. Now, would he be
Very
offended that you can't pronounce his last name? Probably not.
It hasn't been in all these years.
I will say this. I should also include this slight detail. Michelle Smallman is one of my very good friends. her and I have done, these types of things together. I didn't include anyone from Unsportsmanlike, although she would probably be number 1 if we were to include the folks at ESPN who are also a part of the ESPN Milwaukee lineup.
Because you already know. You already know. There are 0 questions to be answered because you've already done that.
Yes, correct.
Amongst us, who's the best road trip person? If we're going to pick someone here, amongst the 4 of us, I guess, who's the most who are you picking to go on a road trip with?
What's up, buddy?
Well, that's because Chewy thinks Gabe's going to do all the driving.
Exactly.
I would.
Exactly.
I would be a miserable passenger.
Why?
If I'm in a car, I want to be driving.
Are you one of those white knuckle gripping the side type of things?
Not necessarily, but I just don't feel as comfortable.
See, Joshy would be great for his laugh. When you're at hour 12
Well,
you
I
need
think
a
we
laugh.
have to be very specific of how long this road trip is, because there's going to be a point where any little habit or tick of a person is going to start to wear on you.
Your negative is probably like all women's negative. You don't throw anything away in the car. There's water bottles. There's wrappers.
Chewy likes to
there's
keep a clean
half-eaten
vehicle.
sandwiches.
That's probably true, yes. But there'd be a garbage bag, and it would have the empty Pringles can, and it would have the empty Celsius can. It would have, you know what I mean? Like, at least I would keep it all in the garbage can. James weighing in on our ESPN Milwaukee talk and text line saying, Tausch also runs his tank all the way to empty, refusing to fill up on gas. He's a perfect match for Jen.
You guys can push the car together.
800-990-3776. Who at ESPN Milwaukee would be the best road trip partner? Taking all of these things we have thrown out there into consideration. I think music has got to play a big part in it. Music or podcasts. I mean, you have to be in alignment on what you're listening to.
I'm telling you right now, the fact that we haven't mentioned Joshy, like Joshy would be a great road trip
the
partner.
laugh alone.
Not just the laugh, but like he's got a very, I would say, eclectic music taste. I think he can read the situation of what it kind of needs. I think Josh riding shotgun is like the ultimate, navigator that you're looking for. He's gonna pump you up when you need to pump it up. He's gonna be able to read you and leave you alone.
The playlist I would have as we're approaching, say, ESPN LA here in that last hour, we'd be riding high.
Oh, that's right, because they said they were going from ESPN New York to ESPN LA.
Yeah.
Yeah. Would you play Ocean Avenue when we got to...
No, I'm not corny. I have good taste.
Doo-doo. All right,
a lot of Grateful Dead.
800-990-3776. Let us know who you think would be the best road trip partner here on ESPN Milwaukee after Evan Cohen picked me, of all the people at Big ESPN, to take a road trip with, Gabe.
Evan would be the worst. No, he would be the worst because he wouldn't shut up. Am I right?
Way to tuck that in there, buddy. Like we were home free, man. But Gabe was literally about to put his foot on the home plate.
I know. I just had
This is the guy that gets nervous anytime one of the 5, 6, 7 buses we have here calls him. So then what does Chewy decide to do? Take one of those bosses and throw him under the bus.
Because he just wants to pick fights. That's all he wants to do with me.
Oh, and you don't?
All right, read your read.
Ewald makes it easy. It's a promise they made back in 1964 and it continues to grow now 60 years later, making car buying easy for families across southeast Wisconsin. Celebrate Ewald's 60th anniversary with special savings on over 1,300 vehicles. That's right, 1,300 vehicles. Shop the easy way with the lowest prices guaranteed. Plus, with Ewald, you're backed by their exclusive 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. So hurry into Ewald's 60th anniversary sale by going to ewaldauto.com.
Jen, Gabe, and Chewy are back after this on 94.5 ESPN.
Nelnet Incorporated has document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner. Facilities Coordinator Sunday Heidemann, local and partner ring true for you. Why?
They become your friend. They are easy to work with. You get to know them on a personal level, and they're very outgoing.
James Imaging Systems, helping local businesses do business better.
Being a partner, we can collaborate with each other, and we can make the best needs and outcome for our company.
James Imaging Systems, better technology, great people.
Makes my job so much easier that I can contact the people that know the machines, and I know I'm going to be taken care of.
Sunday, anything to say about James Imaging Systems to others?
They're a great team to work with.
Document imaging technology from James Imaging Systems. Call 262-781-7700. James Imaging Systems, your local business technology partner.
Gabe Neitzel from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy here. Don't let the chilly weather end your golf season. X-Golf and American Family Field is open all year round. They've got innovative and accurate golf simulators, all overlooking left field at AmFam Field. Enjoy daily lunch specials or have an outing with your friends and take in X-Golf's full bar and food menus. X-Golf AmFam Field is even offering golf lessons by a PGA Pro. Everyone is welcome at X-Golf AmFam. Book your sim today, xgolfamfamfield.com. I'll see you out there. Hey, it's Gabe Neitzel from Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. You've heard me talk about the results mentality has had on my life, but don't just take it from me. Jason has had success too, thanks to mentality.
My only regret is I didn't do it sooner. Knowing once again I've gotten the treatments done and continuing, I do feel, stuff does hurt a little bit more, but I'm 40, in my 40s, and that's going to happen. But again, the energy levels, it is above and beyond. Again, I'm back in that age where I'm like, this is amazing.
Get started today at lowtusa.com.
Hey, are you having a hard time dealing with high-interest credit card debt? It's normal, and a SoFi personal loan could help you save thousands by consolidating your DEBT to one low fixed monthly payment. You could get $5,000 to $100,000 as soon as the same day you sign, with no fees required. It only takes 60 seconds to view your rate, and it won't affect your credit score. View your rate at SoFi.com/paid-off. Loans originated by SoFi Bank N.A. Member FDIC. Terms and conditions at SoFi.com/paid-off. NMLS 696891.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, U.S. Tax Shield can help you take back control. The IRS can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Our team of tax attorneys can stop collections and get you protected. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the BBB, so call 800-494-6139. U.S. Tax Shield, 800-494-6139.
Hey, Drew Scott here, and I'm Jonathan Scott, reminding you that life's better with a home policy from American Family Insurance. They can help you get just the right protection at just the right price and help you save when you bundle home and auto. Kind of like Goldilocks and the Three Bears. It'll be just right for you. We love a custom build. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. Visit amfam.com to learn how discounts may apply to you. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
It's Jen, Gabe, and Chewy.
Big hurt.
I heard that's like, eh.
Ron and the Keyway and say you guys should slow down before you take on a sponsor.
Here I am.
On 94.5 ESPN.
For your next night out, make Aria, the acclaimed restaurant inside St. Kate, the Arts Hotel, your dinner destination. It is nestled on the second floor of St. Kate. It is an artful dining experience that captivates with its culinary creativity. Can I just tell you, when I've had dinner at Aria, if you sit by the windows and you do it during sunset, the sky changes these beautiful colors. You can see the lights from the theater district, and of course, the food is fantastic. Come and experience the magic of Aria, where every bite is a work of culinary artistry. Learn more and make your reservations at Aria at stkate.com. That's Aria at stkate.com. We've had such a good show, Josh, wanted to get out early. He's like, get me out of here, mister. What did we put on the polls today? Anything good? Probably not.
Let's see,
it was
we
the
got
offensive
here.
defensive line.
All right. Given these
That's all
two
we got.
options, what position would you prefer the Green Bay Packers with the 25th pick? Oh my gosh, it's 50-50. 50-50 offensive line, 50-50 defensive line. Chewy, we're voting it'd be 25% linebacker, 25% offensive line, 25% defense, and 25% safety. Did I nail that, buddy?
You got it.
Or you got another one you'll want to lob up in there.
Tomorrow.
Like, hey, I don't want to give you all my good stuff. Thanks for listening to Jen, Gabe, and Chewy. We'll be in Tausch's next on ESPN Milwaukee.
Well, things are wrapping up, but we do have a couple of accidents